She posted, "Ha! Independence first, rings later, after draining our mortgage savings for a surprise girls' trip." I didn't yell. I moved the joint funds to escrow, canceled vendor holds, and left an itemized printout. When she read the last line, she stopped breathing. I, 29 male, am sitting in what was supposed to be our future home's empty living room, surrounded by boxes we'll never unpack here. 4 days ago, my girlfriend Veronica, 27, of 6 years, decided to teach me a lesson about financial independence that backfired spectacularly. We'd been saving for 3 years. Every overtime shift, every skipped vacation, every generic brand grocery item, all for the down payment on this modest 3-bedroom house. We were so close. $42,000 saved, closing scheduled for next Friday. The sellers had already moved out. We'd picked paint colors. Tuesday morning, I'm at work when my phone buzzes. Instagram notification. Veronica posted a story from the airport. Her and 5 friends, champagne glasses raised, designer luggage everywhere. The caption. Spontaneous Cabo getaway. Sometimes you gotta live a little. My stomach dropped. I checked our savings account through the banking app, $247 remaining. She'd withdrawn $40,753 the day before. While I was asleep after a 12-hour shift, my hands were shaking as I opened her next story post, a screenshot of her friend Melody's comment. "Girl, you're brave. What did Derek say?" Veronica's reply, posted publicly. "Ha, independence first, rings later. He needs to understand I'm not some housewife in training. My money too." I didn't call, didn't text, didn't scream into the void. I very calmly told my supervisor I had a family emergency and left. First stop, the bank. The account was joint, my first mistake. So the withdrawal was legal. The teller, sensing my distress, printed out the transaction history. Veronica had transferred the money to her personal account, then made multiple purchases. Flights for 6 people, $4,200, resort booking, $8,500, and a shopping spree that included a $3,000 handbag from Nordstrom. Second stop, our mortgage broker, Janet. She went pale when I explained. We had 72 hours before we'd lose our rate lock. The sellers were already under contract for their new place. Without the down payment, everything would collapse. "Derek, I'm so sorry," Janet said. "If you can't replace the funds." I knew. We'd lose the house, the $2,000 earnest money deposit, and probably face legal action from the sellers. Third stop, our apartment. I grabbed my laptop and started working. I moved fast, created a new individual savings account, and transferred the remaining to $147. Then I went through 3 years of bank statements, documented every single deposit. I'd contributed $31,420 to our joint savings. Veronica had contributed $10,580. The rest was interest. I created a spreadsheet, color-coded, time-stamped, beautiful in its simplicity. Then I started canceling everything. The venue hold for the surprise birthday party I'd been planning for her next month, $500 deposit, partially refundable. The couple's massage package I'd booked for next weekend, $400, non-refundable, but transferable. Her car insurance, the policy was in my name, she was listed as a driver. The engagement ring lay away at K Jewelers. Got back my $3,200 in payments. I screenshot everything. Every cancellation, every confirmation email, every receipt. By evening, I'd also discovered something interesting. Veronica's spontaneous trip. She'd been planning it for weeks. Found emails in our shared iPad to her friends discussing it. Found the Airbnb confirmation from 2 weeks ago. Found her search history for, "Can boyfriend sue me for taking money from joint account?" I printed everything, organized it in a manila folder. Then I typed up a single-page summary. Financial reconciliation, Derek and Veronica original joint savings balance, $42,000. Your contributions, $10,080, 25.2%. My contributions, 31,428%, amount you withdrew, $40,753. Amount you were entitled to, $10,580. Amount you stole through deception, $30,173, immediate consequences. Mortgage application canceled, lost earnest money, $2,000. Lost rate lock fee, $500. Potential seller lawsuit, TBD. Your car insurance canceled effective midnight. Ring payment recovered, $3,200. Birthday venue deposit recovered, $300. Your current legal liability to me, $30,173. I will be pursuing this through small claims court unless the full amount is returned within 48 hours. P.S. Independence first, rings later. Congratulations, you're now independent. No ring, ever. I left the folder on the kitchen counter with her passport, which she'd forgotten in her excitement. Her car insurance cancellation notice and a printout of her Instagram story. Then I went to my brother Garrett's place to crash. Turned off my phone, waited. Update 1. The meltdown began exactly when I expected, the moment they landed and she realized she'd forgotten her passport. According to her friend Melody, who surprisingly reached out to apologize, Veronica couldn't leave the resort. At all. International travel requires passport for return. She was stuck while her friends went on excursions, went to clubs, went anywhere that required ID verification. But that was just the appetizer. The main course came when she got my brother's call. I'd asked Garrett to inform her about the folder, keeping myself removed from direct contact. She apparently went ballistic in the resort lobby. Security got involved. Melody sent me a video, Veronica screaming about how I was financially abusing her by canceling her insurance. Then she read the last line of my note. According to Melody, she literally stopped breathing for like 10 seconds. Then she threw up in a potted plant. The calls started immediately. 47 missed calls. Of course it's 47. I didn't answer. She tried calling from her friends' phones. Still didn't answer. Then came the texts. I'll summarize the progression. Hour 1 to 3. Rage, how dare you? That money was ours. You're controlling and abusive. Hour 4 to 6. Bargaining. Please baby, let's talk. I'll pay you back. Don't do this to us. Hour 7 to 12. Threats. My dad will sue you. I'll tell everyone what you did. You'll regret this. Hour 13 to 24. Panic. Please, I need that insurance to get home. The resort is charging my card. Please answer. Her dad Richard called me once. Calm, lawyer-like. Derek, this is unfortunate. Veronica made a mistake. Surely we can resolve this without courts. Richard, she stole $30,000 and destroyed our future home. She planned this for weeks. There's no mistake here. She's young. Impulsive. She's 27 with a master's degree. She knew exactly what she was doing. What do you want? The money she stole returned in full. Immediately. She spent most of it already. Then she needs to figure that out. 48 hours, Richard. Or I file charges for theft by deception. He hung up. Meanwhile, Veronica discovered more immediate problems. Without car insurance, she couldn't legally drive her car. Still in her name, thankfully. Her credit cards were maxed from the trip. Her friends, initially supportive, started distancing themselves when they realized she'd essentially stolen the money. Best part. The resort had a $2,000 hold on her card for incidentals. Without the joint account as backup, her card declined. She was essentially trapped at an all-inclusive resort with no money, no transportation home arranged, and no way to pay for anything beyond the basic package. Update 2. Veronica got back yesterday. Her dad had to fly to Mexico to get her. Cost him $1,800 for a last-minute flight, plus whatever he paid to settle her resort bill. She showed up at Garrett's apartment this morning. Not to apologize. To negotiate. Derek, we need to discuss this like adults. There's nothing to discuss. Return the money or I file charges Monday. I don't have $30,000. You know that. You had it 4 days ago. She actually tried to argue that the house wasn't that important. That we could just save up again. That I was being dramatic about missing one opportunity. I pulled out my phone and showed her an email from the seller's attorney. They're suing us for breach of contract, $8,500 in damages. The difference between our offer and their next best offer. Plus their temporary housing costs. Her face went white. I didn't think. No, you didn't. Then she tried a different approach. Tears. The waterworks were impressive. Derek, please. 6 years. Doesn't that mean anything? It meant everything. That's why I saved every penny for our future while you planned to steal it. It wasn't stealing. It was our money. 25% was yours. You took 97%. She tried one more tactic. The one I'd been expecting. If you do this, everyone will know what kind of man you are. Vindictive. Cruel. No woman will want you. I laughed. Actually laughed. Veronica, you posted on Instagram bragging about taking the money. Everyone already knows what happened. Your friends are messaging me apologies. Your cousin Nicole sent me a screenshot of your group chat where you called me a walking ATM with a hero complex. So please, tell everyone. Tell them how you stole our house deposit for a vacation. She left. But not before trying to grab the ring box I'd intentionally left visible on Garrett's coffee table. It was empty. I'd returned the ring days ago. But watching her frantically open it and find nothing was satisfying. Her mom called an hour later. Different approach than Richard. Derek's sweetheart. I'm mortified. This isn't how we raised her. I appreciate that, Linda. Richard has her in his office right now with accountants. We're liquidating her assets. Her car, her jewelry, everything. You'll get your money. Thank you. Can I ask, is there any chance of reconciliation? Linda. She looked me in the eye this morning and said the house wasn't important. The home we'd saved 3 years for. No, never. I understand. For what it's worth, you would have been a wonderful son-in-law. Update 3. Today's the day I was supposed to move into our house. Instead, I'm in my new studio apartment. Considerably poorer but infinitely wiser. Richard came through. Sort of. I received a Schurz check for $22,000 yesterday. The breakdown. Veronica's car sale, $11,000. Her jewelry, $3,000. Liquidated retirement account, $4,000. Richard's personal check, $4,000. Still short, $8,173. But Richard included a signed promissory note from Veronica for the remainder, payable at $340 a month for 2 years. I'll never see that money, but it's enough to avoid criminal charges. The seller's lawsuit was settled. Richard paid the $8,500 directly to them. Veronica now owes her parents $12,500 total. But here's where it gets interesting. Veronica's been trying to rebuild her image online. Posted this long story about surviving financial abuse and escaping a controlling relationship. How I'd monitored every penny and isolated her from financial independence. Nobody bought it. Her friend group imploded. Turns out she'd borrowed money from several of them over the years. Small amounts. $50 here, $200 there. Always with promises to pay back. Never did. When Melody revealed this in their group chat, along with screenshots of Veronica bragging about the Cabo trip being worth losing that boring house, the exodus began. She lost her job. Not officially for the theft, but for missing 4 extra days of work. Stuck in Mexico, then mental health days. The marketing firm she worked for has a strict attendance policy. She'd already been on thin ice for calling out sick. Instagram proved otherwise, multiple times. Her parents gave her 30 days to find her own place. Richard's exact words, according to Linda, you wanted independence. Here it is. She's now working at a call center, living in a shared room she found on Craigslist, driving a 2003 Honda Civic her dad grudgingly bought for $2,000, and posting motivational quotes about Phoenix rising from ashes. And strong women intimidate weak men. Meanwhile, I took the $22,000, added my recovered ring payment and birthday party deposit, and put it all into a new savings account. Just mine. Already back up to $26,000. Found a better job with a 20% pay raise. Turns out my old company had been underpaying me for years. Should be able to buy a house on my own in about 18 months. Final update. Wasn't going to update again, but this deserves documentation. Veronica sent me a letter. An actual physical letter. 4 pages, handwritten. Not an apology that would require self-awareness. Instead, it was a manifesto about how I'd ruined her life over one mistake, and how she's now struggling while you live comfortably. The delusion was breathtaking. She actually wrote, "I hope you're happy knowing you destroyed someone who loved you over money." I didn't respond, but I did forward it to Richard with a note. "You might want to consider therapy for her." His response: "Already in progress." Court ordered. She bounced a check for her car insurance. That's right. She bounced a check for the state minimum insurance on her $2,000 car. After everything. But here's the real kicker. Remember that couples massage package I'd booked? The transferable one. I gave it to Garrett and his girlfriend as a thank you for letting me crash. They went last weekend. Guess who was working at the spa as a receptionist? Veronica. Garrett said she went white when she saw them. Had to process their appointment. Had to smile and wish them a relaxing experience. Had to watch them enjoy what was supposed to be a romantic weekend. He said she looked exhausted. Defeated. Apparently the call center job lasted exactly 3 days before she quit was fired. Stories vary. The spa pays minimum wage plus tips. She's working 6 days a week to make rent on her shared room. Her Instagram's gone private. Her friend groups moved on. Her parents check in but maintain boundaries. She's exactly where she demanded to be. Independent. As for me, I close on a small condo next month. Nothing fancy, but it's mine. Solo. The mortgage payment's less than I was paying in rent. My credit score's excellent. My savings are growing. My brother and I have gotten closer. I've started dating casually. Nothing serious yet, but I'm not rushing. I still think about that morning sometimes. Seeing our savings decimated. Reading her bratty post about independence first, rings later. The panic. The rage. The hurt. But mostly now, I feel grateful. Grateful she showed me who she really was before we were married. Before we had kids. Before our finances were truly entangled. She wanted independence from the boring life we'd planned. The house with the little yard. The eventual wedding. The kids we'd talked about. The annual camping trips we'd mapped out. She got exactly what she asked for. Independence from all of it. Forever. And that printout I left her. With the itemized breakdown. Garrett told me she still has it. Saw it folded up in her wallet when she was processing his payment at the spa. Like she carries it as a reminder. Good. P.S. The house we were going to buy. Drove by it last week. New family moved in. 2 kids playing in the yard. Mom planting flowers in the garden bed we'd planned. Dad mowing the lawn. They looked happy. It stung for a moment, then I realized. That could have been us, but she'd have eventually destroyed that too. Better to know now. Better to be free.